Welcome, everyone, to Vintage Noise. Great to have you with us again. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating and, frankly, quite rare piece of Porsche history.
That's right. We're looking at the Porsche 356B 1600 Super 90 GT Coupe, specifically the lightweight competition versions built between 1960 and 61.
Yeah, these things are like ghosts in the Porsche world. And our goal today here on the channel is to sort of unpack why this car exists. It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it?
It really is. It comes from this incredible racing lineage, but the key reason for its creation was actually a deliberate step back from Porsche's most complex tech at the time. It's all about dependability for the racers.
And we should probably set the scene a bit. The 356 platform itself, I mean, it was already a proven winner, right?
Oh, absolutely. Think Le Mans class wins, Emilia, Targa Florio, Carrera Panamericana. The 356 was dominant. This GT wasn't some random experiment. It was meant to keep that winning streak going.
So Porsche's customers, the racers, they were asking for something even more focused, more nimble.
Exactly. They wanted a factory-built weapon for road racing. Lighter, tougher, something that could really handle the brutal endurance events. And the Super 90 GT, wow, that was Porsche's very calculated answer.
But here's the twist. The thing that really grabbed us looking through the history.
Oh.
It wasn't just about building a better race car in the usual sense. It was about solving a specific nagging problem with the car it was meant to replace.
That's the core of it. Let's talk about why this car needed a pushrod engine. The Super 90 GT was specifically designed to take over from the DOHC Carrera GT in certain classes.
The four-cam Carrera, the legend.
The legend, exactly. Brilliant engineering, that four-cam engine, groundbreaking stuff. But it had a couple of major downsides in the real world of racing.
Okay, what were they? What made Porsche think we need an alternative?
Well, first, the cost was just immense, but maybe even more critical for the privateer teams buying these cars. Reliability. That four-cam engine, as amazing as it was just, well, troublesome.
Troublesome how? Like complex.
Very complex. It needed constant, specialized maintenance. Think about multi-hour endurance races. For a smaller team, without full factory backing, keeping that engine running reliably was a huge challenge and expensive.
Right, so Porsche had this peak racing engine, the height of their tech, and they basically admitted this thing might not finish the race reliably for our customers.
That's pretty much it. And their solution was ingenious in its simplicity. Use the pushrod 1600cc engine. Now, it was still a highly tuned Super 90 version, mind you, not the standard one.
But fundamentally simpler.
Fundamentally simpler, much more reliable, and crucially way easier for a race mechanic to work on in the pits or back at the workshop. It shows Porsche was thinking about the whole racing experience for their clients' finishing races, not just starting them fast.
It's almost ironic, isn't it? Replacing this super complex, high-tech marvel
Yeah.
with a, let's call it, hot-rodded version of their standard engine, gaining an edge through sheer dependability.
Finish first. First, you must finish, right? That old saying. They figured if the car was reliable and light enough, it could still win, even without the ultimate horsepower figure, if you cross the line when others break down.
You're in with a shot. Okay, so that explains the engine choice. But you mentioned lightweight. How did they achieve that?
Yeah.
This is where the GT package comes in, yeah?
Exactly. The lightweight GT package. This is what makes these specific cars so special. Only 14 Super 90 coupes got this full factory treatment. Just 14.
14. Wow. And how much weight did they actually manage to shed?
The sources confirm over 200 pounds compared to the standard steel-bodied coupe. Now, you remember the 356 was already a fairly light car.
Yeah, not exactly heavy to begin with.
So dropping another 200 pounds, that's a huge percentage. It totally transforms the car's dynamics, acceleration, braking, handling, everything.
Let's get into the specifics, how they do it. I read about aluminum panels.
Yep. They swap steel for aluminum for the doors, the front hood, and the engine lid at the back. Major weight savings right there.
And the windows, too, right? Something unusual there.
Definitely. No heavy glass. They use Plexiglas all around. And the side windows, forget about winders. They had these simple leather straps you'd pull to lift the window.
Okay, picturing that. Pulling a lever strap in your $5,500 race car. That's dedication to saving ounces.
Pure function over form. Inside, same story. Stripped down, lightweight interior, you got speedster-style bucket seats, which were lighter, and critically, a roll bar for safety, which was mandatory for competition.
Any other lightweight goodies available?
Yeah, you could option things like lightweight alloy wheels, which reduced unsprung weight, another handling benefit, and an optional larger 80-liter fuel tank for endurance racing, so fewer fuel stops.
So it wasn't just about making it light, they added proper race hardware too.
Absolutely. The GT package wasn't just a diet. It included crucial mechanical upgrades, things like special gear ratios, closer ratios for better acceleration out of corners.
Oh, important for road courses.
Very. And maybe the most significant upgrade. Brakes. They fitted RSK-type brakes.
RSK. As in, from Porsche's dedicated Spider race cars.
The very same. So these weren't just slightly better brakes. They were serious race-derived stoppers. A massive improvement in braking performance and fade resistance, essential for racing.
Okay, so you combine the 200-pound weight loss, the special gearing, the race brakes. You've got a serious contender, haven't you? Especially for something like C production class racing.
Precisely. That C production class you see was generally for production-based sports cars with smaller engines, where modifications were allowed but somewhat limited. Agility, handling, reliability, those were key. This lightweight, dependable Super 90 GT was tailor-made for it. Even with just the pushrod engine, it was incredibly competitive in that context.
Right, I get it. Now, let's circle back to that engine choice, because you mentioned something fascinating earlier, the connection to the Carrera GT. It's deeper than just replacing it, isn't it?
It really is. This is one of the coolest details about these cars. While they ended up with the pushrod 1600 engine, the original plan, or at least the initial structural basis, was for the 4-cam Carrera engine.
Wait, really? So they were meant to be Carreras initially?
Well, the supply of those 4-cam engines was tight, and as we said, Porsche had those reliability concerns for customer cars. But here's the kicker. The chassis themselves, all 14 of these Super 90 GTs, were actually built on the production line as Carrera GTs.
No way. So they started life intended for the 4-cam.
Structurally, yes. They shared that same basic race-prepped foundation. It was only later in the assembly process that the decision was locked in. Install the pushrod Super 90 engine instead, before delivering the car to the customer.
That's amazing. Is there any, physical evidence of that on the cars?
There is, and it's my favorite bit of Porsche trivia about these cars. Because they were built as Carrera GT chassis, they were wired for the Carrera's ignition system, and they were actually delivered with unused Carrera coil switches still fitted in the dashboard.
Get out. So they had switches that did nothing, just sitting there.
Exactly, ghost switches. A little reminder of the 4-cam heart the car was originally destined for. It's incredible, isn't it? A physical artifact of that design change.
That is absolutely wild. Okay, so with the pushrod engine they did get, what kind of performance are we talking about?
So the 1600 Super 90 pushrod engine, it was rated at 64.1 kilowatts, which translates to about 86 brake horsepower at 5,500 RPM.
86 horsepower. Sounds modest today, but in that lightweight body.
That's the key. The curb weight was only 908 kilograms, or just about 2,000 pounds. So the power-to-weight ratio is actually very good for the time, especially for its class.
Right. Top speed wasn't crazy high then.
No, around 110 miles per hour, give or take. But top speed wasn't the point. It was about agility, cornering speed, getting the power down reliably. And they set the red line pretty conservatively at 6,000 RPM, again, prioritizing engine life over squeezing out every last rev. Durability was paramount.
Okay, so we have this picture. Super lightweight, based on a Carrera chassis, strategically down-engined for reliability, complete with ghost switches. Let's talk rarity again. 14 total. That's vanishingly small.
It's incredibly small, just 5 built in 1960 and 9 in 1961. That puts them right up there with the rarest Porsches ever made.
How rare compared to, say, the Carrera GT they replaced?
That's the really stark comparison. Our sources indicate these Super 90 GTs are actually twice as rare as the 4-cam Carrera GTs from the same period.
Twice as rare. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. People often think of the 4-cam cars as the ultimate rarity, but these lightweight pushrod GTs are even harder to find.
And that scarcity must link back to the price tag, even if it was less than the Carrera GT.
Absolutely. It was still seriously expensive. The base price was $5,551 back in 1961.
$5,500. What did, a normal car cost back then?
Well, you could get a pretty standard American family sedan for well under $3,000. Maybe even closer to $2,500. So $5,551. That wasn't just a bit pricey, it was a massive investment.
Yeah, that's huge money. So these were purely for serious, dedicated racers with deep pockets, basically.
Exactly. These weren't road cars someone bought for weekend drives. They were specialized tools. Built by the factory for competition, aimed squarely at privateers who wanted the best reliable package Porsche could offer for that class.
Okay, so let's try and sum this up for everyone listening. The 356B Super 90 GT, the lightweight one. It wasn't just a slightly faster 356.
Not at all. It was a highly focused, factory-built response to a specific need. Porsche gave privateer racers an incredibly effective weapon by prioritizing reliability and slashing weight over 200 pounds gone.
They deliberately chose the simpler, tougher pushrod engine over the complex four-cam, even though the car was built on a Carrera GT chassis, all to make sure it finished the race.
Right. Reliability and that huge weight reduction were its superpowers.
Which brings us to that final thought, that little detail that sticks with you. Those unused Carrera coil switches left in the dash.
Yeah, think about that. They went to all the effort to engineer this reliable pushrod package, making the logical, practical choice for their customers.
But they left behind this little ghost of the ultimate engine the car could have had.
Exactly. What does that tell you? It's like a physical symbol right there on the dashboard of the tension between what's practical and necessary for winning races reliably and that ultimate, perhaps slightly fragile motorsports dream, the four-cam potential.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often are great machines, great products, defined not just by what they are, but by the shadow of what they could have been, the more complex path not taken?
It's a fascinating question, a testament to Porsche navigating that fine line between aspiration and engineered reality.
A perfect place to leave it. Thanks for exploring this amazing piece of Porsche history with us here on Vintage Noise. We'll catch you on the next one.